Hello ladies and gents, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jess Larson, and if you are coming back, welcome. I missed you. It's good to see you again. I know I've been slacking on my uploads the last few weeks, but I'm here, I'm back, I'm bold, I'm sexy, I'm fun. Here we go. Today I'm going to be creating a day to night Valentine's Day look. So make sure to watch the whole video because I have two looks in store for you today. I am going to walk you through a full day look, something soft, bright, nice, sultry, and then we go into a night look. So if you have dinner plans, if you're going out on the town, if you're staying in, it's good for all occasions. Also, if you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe, watch a few of my other videos, decide if you like me, decide if you don't. I love you regardless. Make sure to leave a comment down below and let's get into the video. So one of my favorite tips when doing my brows is spraying the spoolie with a little bit of hairspray prior because it allows my brow hairs to stand straight up and I can see exactly where they're going to lay and I can see the shape. Next, I'm going to be picking up my NYX brow pencil and I'm going to start with the top of my brow. Normally I start with underneath, but I have found that when I start with the top of my brow and install the shape of my arch first, it gives me a little bit more of a natural look, a little bit more of a feathered look, and I found that I don't really have to apply as much product to my brows when I do it this way, just because you already have your shape, you already have the basic outline, your blueprint, and then you just have to go in and fill in any negative space. Also, I really like using the hairspray because it's such a lightweight product and it just gives a really light hold to the brows, and you can 100% control how much product is going on to the brows. That's just a little brow hack from your pal friend JL Jessica Larson. And then I'm just gonna go through and do underneath and brush it up just to blend, and then brush and blend and brush and blend. Next, I'm going to be picking up my Chanel concealer and I'm going to be cleaning up underneath my brow just any wild product that got anywhere, just cleaning it up. This is just going to give us a nice, fresh, clean cut eyebrow, and it's really, really going to help hold your shape in there. Also, I'm just using like a flat concealer type brush to apply this and then patting it out with my finger, just pressing the product into my skin. Next, I'm picking up the same concealer on the back of my hand, using my finger and pressing it onto my lid to use as an eyeshadow primer. And this is just going to get rid of any discoloration in the lid. It's going to add a nice tacky layer that we can apply our eyeshadows on so that our eyeshadows adhere and last all day long. I like using my finger because I feel like the warmth of my finger really presses it into my skin and gives me a nice, even, warm texture. Picking up my custom Colourpop palette, I'm going to be using the color Bellow, and I'm going to take a nice, big, fluffy brush and just blend this all over the lid. This is going to act as our transitional color. So any colors going on top of this, it's just going to blend seamlessly into our lids and look beautiful and look fluffy and fresh. Now this wouldn't be a Valentine's Day look without the color pink, so I'm going to be picking up the color Labyrinth on my middle finger and I'm going to be pressing it all over the lid. Now you might get a little bit of fallout, but that's okay. There's not much you can do about it. Easy fix, no stress, no worries here. Just keep going, pressing it onto the lid. Now we're not necessarily worried about precision or a shape here. We just want that color packed onto our lid so that we can go through with a brush and blend it out and make it look seamless and smoky and beautiful. Now I'm picking up the Labyrinth shade on a brush and I am going 50% onto my lid where all the product is packed on and 50% onto my skin, and I'm really just focusing on feathering out the edges and creating a nice, beautiful, rounded shape because we're going for something very light and airy and smoky for this look. I wanted to keep it relatively simple by packing the product on and lightly blending it out. Switching up brushes here, I am taking a clean, fluffy brush and buffing out any harsh edges. Bada bing, bada boom, and that's how the cookie crumbles. Now going in with the shade Glass Bowl for my custom palette. This is a beautiful iridescent color. It goes right over the top. It's almost like a gloss for your eyelids. It is freaking gorgeous, but it has some purpley flakes in it, has a little bit of iridescent green, silver. It is seriously like one of the most gorgeous colors I've ever seen. So I thought it would be a nice pairing with the pink eyelid. It goes right over the top like a gloss and just adds a little bit of iridescent glow. I'm packing this color on with my finger, and then I'm going to follow up with a brush, just a clean fluffy brush, to again blend out any edges, blend out any harsh lines. We are just going for a nice glossy feel all over the lid to give the pink a little pop. Now we're going to go in with the Rebound Priming Setting Spray by Urban Decay, spraying it onto our brush. Oh, I got it onto my mirror, Bobbi. And then we're going to dip our brush into a glass bowl and put it right onto the center of our eyelids, really making the center pop and pulling it forward. Now we're going to be picking up that first color Labyrinth on that same brush, and we're going to buff out around the edges of glass bowl just to add a little bit more depth to the look. And then you're going to have a little moment because you've finished the bulk of the eyes. So smile and let's move on. We are going to be using the Becca Skin Love Elixir to hydrate and prep the skin. Make sure to warm it up in your fingertips first and then press it into your skin. Next, we'll be using the Mattifying Primer by Bobbi Brown, and I will be pressing that mostly into my T-zone, so around my nose and on my forehead, kind of where all of my bigger pores are. Then I'll be priming the skin with the Urban Decay Rebound Spray, adding some nice hydration, looking majestic, looking fun, looking fresh. For my complexion today, I will be using the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation and a Real Techniques Damp Beauty Blender. I'll be taking a little bit of product and just pressing it into my skin. Now let me just tell you, I am so late to this double wear party. I have heard about this foundation. I've seen it on all the beauty channels. I had never tried it. Recently picked it up, and now it is one of my favorite foundations. So I have normal to dry skin, and this foundation is a natural matte finish. I love this. I feel like it doesn't dry out my skin, it doesn't look too glossy, and it almost like sets itself, which is so cool. So for the middle of my brows and around them, I like to go in with a flat foundation brush just to hold the shape so I don't mess it up with the thick sponge. This is a full coverage foundation with a very natural look to it. And lately I've been gearing towards more medium coverage foundations, but this one gives me the exact look that I thrive for. Next I'm going to be picking up the Fenty Beauty Matchsticks. Warm it up on the back of your hands, pick it up on a synthetic brush, and blend it into the contours of your face. And then I also bring this product down along my jawline because we know we're going to be snacking on cookies and cake this V-Day, okay? We gotta disguise our chin, alright? You gotta be happy about it. You gotta appreciate it. I don't want you missing out on the V-Day festivities. Therefore, I'm gonna give you a nice little tip. Contour your jaw, girl. We don't want to miss out. You gotta look good. You gotta look fresh. Now, we don't want any harsh lines in our complexion, so I'm also picking up a sponge and just going over the top with any excess foundation and blending it out, along with going around my forehead with the cream. And then we'll be setting that cream with a bronzer from my Colourpop palette. This is in the shade Specticle. And I'm going to be going in and just setting our cream contour that we just installed, adding a little bit of warmth into the skin. And then of course going along our jaw, going along the jawline and up around our forehead, just adding an overall warm glow. Next, I'm going to be picking up my Chanel concealer and highlighting under the eyes. And then I will be picking up my Real Techniques stamp sponge and lightly blending it out. Now, when you're doing this, I suggest pressing. Do you see how I'm using pressing motions for this whole thing? Because if you drag it down, not only are you pulling the product off, but you are going to pull it into the fine lines and the pores. So really focus on just lightly pressing. It's going to help blend it into the skin and give it a nice, fresh, glowy look. Again, going up on my forehead, taking any remaining product down on my chin and down the bridge of my nose. To bring some color back into the skin, I'm going to be going in with the Julep cream to powder blush stick in the shade Rose Gold. And I'm just gonna press this onto my sponge and then pat it onto the apples of my cheeks. Looking real cute while I do it too. To bring out our inner glow for the evening, we're going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild palette in the shade Lucky Clover. I'm just going to take a damp sponge and press it onto the high points of my cheeks and bringing it up around my temples just to make sure I am glowing, girl. Do you see that? I felt like I needed just a little bit more color in the cheeks, so I'm going to be picking up the Colourpop blush in the shade Excusez My French and popping that onto the apples of my cheeks. I'm going to dip back into that highlighter and highlight my nose and Cupid's bow. Finishing off the eyes, we're going to be picking up Labyrinth and a small fluffy brush and tapering that from the inner corner to the outer corner, connecting the upper lid and the lower lid. To be specific, just buff that out. Now I feel like you guys should know this trick from the bottom of your hearts by now. I'm picking up my Chanel concealer, a small eyeliner brush, and highlighting the inner corners of my eyes to prep them for a nice shimmery inner corner. And then I'm going to take a flat brush and just press it out so we don't have any thick concealer bundled up in the corners of our eyes. We want it soft, we want it pressed, alright? Now this is a minty green shadow by Buxom. It is called Room Service. I'm going to pop this into the inner corners of my eyes to bring everything together to give it a nice inner corner glow. And this is going to match also our highlight that we put on our cheeks, because if you notice, that was also a minty green. And if you notice thrice, green is my power color, so I incorporated it into the look. Next, I'm going to be topping this off with some Marc Jacobs mascara, just coating the upper and lower lashes real quick, bringing it out. We're almost done. Stay tuned because we have more. Don't stop. Here we go. Last step before we transition into our night look is, of course, a gloss. You know I'm a gloss person. I can't help it. I've used this one a few times. This is the Becca Glow Gloss. It doesn't have a shade. We've discussed this. I don't know what to tell you, but it's one of my favorite glosses. 3, 2, 1, 5. Okay, so this is the completed daytime Valentine's Day look, and now we're going to transition into a nighttime look. So I'm going to give you a few quick, easy, simple tips to go from day to night, to go from bright to bold. On this last step, we're just going to add a few simple things, and we're going to go with a bold red lipstick because I feel like red is such a statement color. It's a sultry color, it's a bold color. First, I'm going to be going in with the Stila liquid lip in the color Beso, and I'm just mostly going to be lining my lips with this just because it's like rock solid. This stuff does not move. So I'm going to go through and do a nice thick outline on my lips and then fill it in with the MAC color. I'm going to be using the MAC lipstick in the shade Chili. Ooh, it's even spicy. We're going for a little spice. Now that I got my lips outlined, we're just going to fill our whole lip with the MAC lipstick. Now, red is a little dangerous. It's a little sexy. It's a little spicy. It's a little fun. Now, if you can see, we got a little messy here. I've always been terrible at applying lipstick. I don't know what my deal is. I don't know if it's my lips. I can apply it on other people, but for some reason myself, I have such a hard time. So don't worry, I have a little tip. We're gonna go in with a small flat concealer brush, and I'm gonna be picking up just like a little bit of concealer, and we're gonna go along our lip line and just clean up, kind of like what we do with our brows. You know, you go underneath your brows and you clean it up. We're gonna do the same thing with our lips. We're just gonna clean up the edges, make it sharp, make it crisp. Okay, now that we have our lips nice and bold, we gotta make our eyes match. And I'll be going in with the color Sleeper, and we're gonna be going in on the outer corner of the eye and just smoking this out. I'm also gonna bring this slightly into my crease just to make sure everything blends. So this completes our day to night Valentine's Day look. So just to reiterate and do a little rewind, we went in, did something nice and light and smoky and feathery and daytime. Then for our night look, we went through and added some depth to everything. Went in with a sexy, spicy, hot red lip just to bring out bring it all out in the open, show everyone what you're made of. Make sure you walk down the streets with your walk of power. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you next week with an awesome video. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. Give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. And as always, if you recreate this look, make sure to tag me across all social media. The links are in the description box below, and I will see you next week with another awesome video. Get hype!